Good afternoon, friends. This is Seth Moore again coming to you here on Anchor by Spotify by the way of Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Music.com, and many other host sites. We are here this afternoon because we want to share some things with you. Currently, it is about 4:40 in the afternoon, 89 degrees, and it's raining outside here in the Love State. And so we want to share with you again on some things that we've been gathering. And so currently in the news, hot topics have been lately, as we all know, with affirmative action being, after all this time, there's no more affirmative action as regards to the college admissions and so forth. So this has become a very big thing. That is not our subject, however. We just wanted to mention it, and we want to tie in some things probably that's related to that. So we're going to be bringing you some things in a moment. So just stay right with us, okay? All right, we'll be with you in just a moment, so stay there. Once again, this is Seth Moore with you here on Anchor by Spotify. We want to mention that the music that we're currently using, uncopyrighted music by Scott Buckley, and we want to obviously acknowledge him in his great orchestra and so forth. And we will mention him in the comments on this podcast, and there will be a caption thanking him and for the use of his music. So again, we're going to be talking about today amalgamation and how these different things tie in. There are three identifiers that talks about this, and it talks about how these things in conjunction have some similarities. And we want you guys to give us some feedback as to what you think, and is this related to any of the things that we see happening today. And I would actually say that it is. I think it's increasingly important for us to be able to recognize what's happening, what has been happening for a very, very long time. And the reason why, of course, I want to mention this and bring this to you is because these things are used to build institutions. They're used to build community economics, and so that there is a solidified block for different groups of people, ethnic groups, whether they be Asian, whether they be Latino, whether they be Africans, whether they be Indians. All of these particular groups use these identifiers to their advantage and to their benefit. And we're gonna read some stuff to you, and you'll be able to see how these things are related and how that is, like I said again, it's a tool, and oftentimes it's a tool used against the Aboriginal indigenous people of the Americas. Okay? And I'm going to show you how. So, and for those of you who may not know what amalgamation is, I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what the synonyms of amalgamation are. Okay, the action or process of uniting or merging two or more things. The action or process of amalgamating, an opportunity for the amalgamation of two companies, the state of being amalgamated. Okay, and this talks about the result of amalgamating is amalgam. Okay, as such as in, an operatic symposium or whatever you want to call it, where there's singing and acting and stagecraft and so forth and so on, a merger. Okay, so let us look at this. What is the difference between acculturation, assimilation, now listen to this, and amalgamation? Acculturation is one of several forms of culture contact and has a couple of closely related terms, including assimilation and amalgamation. Although all three of these refer to changes due to contact between different cultures. Listen, there are notable differences between them. Acculturation is often tied to political conquest or expansion and is applied to the process of change in beliefs or traditional practices that occurs when the cultural system of one group displaces that of another. Let me just stop right there for one moment. Now, as we all are aware of, just last year when Kyrie Irving came forth and he began to talk about he wanted to know what his name meant and and so forth and so on, and how there was all this consternation with this video that was put out. And he had to purge himself and apologize and go through. Why was this? Because this acculturation, as it is, where it talks about, it's a political, tied to political conquest or expansion, and is applied to the process of change in beliefs or traditional practices that occur when a cultural system of one group displaces that of another. So those who were accusing him of anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic, the question then becomes, or what he was trying to say, how can I be anti-Semitic when I am a Semite? So you have one group trying to acculturate, another group politically, to displace them in a place where they don't belong. And this has been going on for time immemorial. And it's going on to this day. Just now, and lately, we've had this for so long. Lately, there's been all of these situations that are occurring with acculturation and assimilation. So all of these, particularly 3 identifiers, are woven into this, what we call amalgamation. Okay, so now we've been hearing, about the Netflix with the black lady shouldn't have played Cleopatra, and all of this nonsense because she was not black or she was not indigenous. All this crazy stuff that's happening. Okay, so now we got these Egyptians, or whatever they want to call themselves, because really what they are was they're invaders. They come from a line of people who came into Kemet, who are the children of the invaders. Okay, they are the children of the invaders. So they're claiming, now here it is again. This is political acculturation. In other words, you're usurping someone else's culture, claiming it to be yours. Claiming it to be yours. Okay, so now let me go on. So keep that in mind. And as I have just read, acculturation is often tied to political conquest. Okay, is often tied to political conquest or expansion, and is applied to the process of change in beliefs or traditional practices that occur when the cultural system of one group displaces that of another. So obviously, these people are not happy with when they look back at their culture. They're not happy with what they see. So they want to acculturate and replace another group's culture and say that, oh, this is our culture. That's not y'all. When it's plainly seen. I mean, the proof is staring you right in the face. It's been there for thousands of years. Okay. It's been there for thousands of years. You don't have any proof. You can't prove what you are saying. And this is really the crazy thing. This is really the crazy and asinine thing about all of this, is all of these people who are claiming these particular areas and cultures cannot prove it. They can't prove it because they know that they're lying. And they just hate the fact that indigenous people from Turtle Island to Kemet to Timbuktu to Anchor or in India, and you can go on and ancient Mexico and ancient America, which Turtle Island, as I mentioned, and you can go on and on forever. Ancient Sumer, all of these cultures have been inhabited from day one by indigenous people of darker hue. It's been proven. And the fact that it's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow when you know that you built your systems off of these systems that were already established. As far as mathematics, writing systems, astronomy. I mean, the list goes on and on. Irrigation, structural buildings, smelting iron. I mean, we can go on and on forever. All of these cultures were given to the world by indigenous people, no matter where you look, because they were the first peopling of the universe, of planet Earth. Okay? Let us go on. Now, we talked about the displacement of another, right? Okay. So assimilation refers to, now listen to this, y'all. Assimilation, which most of you know what this is, refers to the process through which individuals and groups of different heritages acquire the basic habits, attitudes, and mode of life of an embracing culture. Amalgamation refers to the blending of cultures rather than one group eliminating another acculturation or one group mixing itself into another. Okay, so now we all know what assimilation is. Now we have people who assimilate when they come to America. Because why? A lot of them bought into the lie about the indigenous, aboriginal, Niji of Turtle Island. And not just of Turtle Island, but of Turtle Island. Let's stick with Turtle Island, because we're not Africans, okay? And I know I espouse to Kemet theology and all that, and those are our cousins, our brethren, and and some will debate that. I know that some will debate that, but they're part of the peopling of the Dr. Hugh of the planet, okay? But of course, we know that there's a rich cultural legacy and history of our people right here in the Americas, okay? Which a lot of people, is Turtle Island, Amexem, so forth, so on, okay? And so all of these, so what has happened is a lot of people have assimilated because they want to fit in, because they bought into the lie that the indigenous people of Turtle Island are no good, and we are thieves, and we are robbers, and we do drugs, and we just create all kinds of chaos. We're killers, we're murderers. And I mean, and a lot of people bought into that. And statistics already proves that if there's any crime, most of the crime is going to be done in which you live. And the crime is going to be done more than likely those who are in closer proximity to you. So you can't say that, again, which a lot of people brought into, that black people are committing most of the crimes. Statistically, that's wrong. Black people are, and I don't even like to use that word black, but indigenous people are the people who are receiving welfare, and as we have today with the affirmative action. Black people, or indigenous people, were the people who were receiving affirmative action more than anybody else, which we know is a lie. And because we already know statistically it's been shown and it's proven, it's right there. It's right there in black and white for the record, for those who want to research it, that we know that white women have benefited more from affirmative action than anyone else since its inception. Okay, so stop the lying. So now that affirmative action is no longer, let's see what's going to happen. Because it does have some downsides for everyone. And it has some upsides for a lot of people. And the fact is, for the longest time, they cannot stand that the largest demographic of smart people in this country have been black women and black men, not following far behind. Okay, because most of the things that we use today have been invented by indigenous Negies from Turtle Island. The cell phones that we use, the computers that we use, eye laser surgery, Patricia Bath from NASA, and Philip Mingwali from Nigeria invented the mother computer, excuse me, looking at a beehive, being able to calculate and bring about 1.3 billion computations looking at a beehive. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And I can go on and on. Blood plasma, Charles Drew, Lewis Latimer, the filament and the light. I mean, you want me to go on? I mean, so this is why we're so much of a threat. But the assimilation piece has to do with everything to extract and detach themselves from anything that looks indigenous to this land. Okay? Because there's going to be a downside to that when it's all said and done. See, because everybody wants to run away from indigenous people because, oh, okay, so we have this incurable disease that people have put out there that we're the boogeyman, we're the bad guy. And so everybody wants to stay away from us, you know, when it comes to acquiring, you know, these how can I put it? When it comes to requiring these benefits, when it comes to requiring these government subsidies and so forth and so on, you know, we have these Mongolian, these so-called fake $5 Indians who are acquiring billions of dollars every single year. But the indigenous people of Turtle Island have to fight to get their just due and still not getting it. Still not getting it. The Freedmen's Act. We can go on and on and on and on and on and on. You know, the people who are still petitioning to receive the monies from stolen land, you know, and so forth and so on. So the assimilation has everything to do with, I want to assimilate so I can get these benefits. You even have white folks calling themselves Indians. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why? Because they want to get this money. They want to get this money. So a part of the assimilation, you have people who are putting on their birth certificates. You have people putting on their birth certificates that come to this country, like Arabs and even some Mexicans. They're putting down white. You see what I'm saying? So this is what's happening. This is what's happening, y'all. And so the amalgamation part, everybody wants to amalgamate when it comes to, indigenous people getting ready to get some reparations. So let's try to amalgamate. Let's try to merge with them so we can put themselves in it. It is crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it talks about, it says amalgamation refers to the blending of cultures rather than one group eliminating another. Excuse my voice because I'm just getting over the last couple of days, a little cough, okay? I think I was down a little bit because I had took some time off from juicing, which I started back up, and I should have never done that. So I'm good now. But again, it says that the two groups, or the one group eliminating another. Okay, but the amalgamation refers to the blending of cultures rather than one eliminating another. Okay, so now you'll find these groups who will try to blend with the indigenous Niji of Turtle Island when they think, okay, they're about to get some benefits, or the government or the state of California is about to give out billions in reparations to the indigenous Niji of Turtle Island. So now everybody wants to become, they'll be called, people will be standing in line saying, I'm Indian. And they ain't no more Indian than a damn can of paint. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the games that are playing, that are being played. And I'm trying to get you to see with these three identifiers how they're used against the indigenous person, the indigenous Niji of Turtle Island, and how they use these things at their convenience to build their communities, okay? To build economic power, to build political power. You heard me read. And meanwhile, you swinging the door right open for them. You need to stop that. And I said before in other podcasts, we need to hold sacred what is ours. We need to hold sacred what is ours, people. What is ours? And say, no, you over there, you do your thing. No, you're not coming over here trying to get no benefits for something you didn't work for, and not just work for, but you're not culturally linked to what we have. Okay, so stop it. And that's what we need to do. An amalgamation of peat moss and okay, but that's just an example. I won't read that. Let me do this. Because we can give you so many different okay, so we want you to be, aware of what is going on. And we wanted to bring this before you so that you will understand how you're being played and how people will use these things against you and your culture to play you. They will use it against you to play you. Okay? So when it's convenient for them, people want to assimilate. People want to say, okay, I'm white. Okay? And even though, in a lot of cases, you know, you may have that on your census, or you may have that on your resume or your job application. And when you go in these places and you look like you're a Mexican, or you look like you're Arab, or you're Indian, those folks gonna let you know, nah. You might have got away with that on the census, but up in here, when the decisions are made, you know, nah, we don't see you as that. We don't see you as that. You follow me? Yeah, we don't see you as that. And so these games are played, and they're played to the convenience of another group. And as you just heard me read earlier, how acculturation is politically usurping one person's culture and another group taking it on. And how much of that do we have today? It is overwhelmingly so pervasive and prevalent. and it's not going to stop. And it's not going to stop until the real ancestors, when they step forward, let me say this, when they step forward, and because there's so much focus on all these different areas, right? And there's even so much focus now on the other worlds, okay, beyond our solar system. And who's going to show up? Excuse me. And bet you a dime to a dollar when everything by the Creator's providence, when all of these things align with the universe and begin to formulate its natural order, everybody is going to want to assimilate with the indigenous Niji of Turtle Island. Watch what I tell you. Everybody's going to want to run and say, "Oh yeah, like I said earlier, I'm with them." You see what I'm saying? Because everybody's after subsidies. Everyone is after benefits. That's why people come to America. But what they don't know, while they dangle that carrot in front of your face, all the time, America is being dismantled slowly but surely by other countries. Because, you guys heard me. I've done many podcasts on Brits, and Brits has gained great momentum over the last year or so. And so now they have in place, excuse me, excuse me, I was saying, now they have in place, get a swallow of water here. Yes, now they have in place a decided currency that is going to be used to, as mentioned many times before, to topple the US dollar. So a lot of these people who are banking on the strength of the dollar are going to be in for a rude awakening if, in fact, they don't have any other means of bartering with gold, precious metals, or anything of that nature. Because that dollar ain't worth the paper that it's printed on, as it often was said by many people in the past. So, I mean, that's why you have many nations right now, many African nations right now, who have gone as far as to say, look, we're not using the U.S. dollar. And I mentioned in podcasts in times past how that the petrodollar for nations like Saudi Arabia is waning, and China and so forth, and how that trillions of dollars worth of bonds are, you know, I really don't have a great leverage when it comes to bartering. So a lot of these nations have opted out to say, look, this is what we're doing. And I think a lot of you who are familiar with what's going on, you know the reason why. So, but that's my belief, because the Creator's going to take care of his indigenous people. He always has. And these people, if you want to call them people, some of them are so hell-bent and wicked, they'll do whatever they have to do. Like when we say by any means necessary, a lot of us don't mean it, but they mean it. They mean it. Trust me. They will scrape you from the planet, because that's what they know how to do. That's what they're accustomed to. Okay, you have to call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they're not good people in the world. I've never said that. There are good people in the world in every ethnic group. But you also have some cruddy, shitty, low down, demonic, narcissistic, putrefied, excuse me, demonic entities roaming this planet. And if you're standing in the way or trying to impede any type of progress, or trying to put a wedge in any system, they will get rid of you. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. And they're tricky and diabolical and sneaky and crafty. But the Creator of light is all wisdom, all wise, all powerful, all revealing. And so I wanted to bring this to your attention today, and so that you would be abreast of this information, and that you would be enlightened, so that you would understand and know this is the way communities and institutions are founded. Okay, when people came to Turtle Island thousands of years ago, what did they do? They so-called were calling themselves assimilating to the cultural high societies that were already in place here. But is that what they did? It was just a trick. It was just a trick. So we're dealing with a constitution that was already in place in the ancient Americas when the settlers came. What did they do? They just adopted and stole. Okay? They stole. There was a constitution already in place. Okay, so we want to bring this to you, and we're going to continue. So you guys stay with us. We probably won't come back today, but we will be back this week. Okay, normally we're giving you Wednesdays and the weekends, but again, we've been busy, been a little under the weather and so forth. So Until next time, you guys stay with us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you so much. Just give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you like what we're doing, and we'll continue to bring you this information as it becomes available to us. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay up, stay high. Keep your vibrations high. And don't let anyone, anything, move you from your mark. Until next time, this is Seth Moore, again, coming to you here on Anchor by Spotify. And we'll be giving it to you by the way of Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and many other host sites. Until next time, we bid you a great afternoon.